Hey, what's good? Hey, how many of you remember this picture? It's from the 24/7 buildup when he was getting ready to fight Sergio Martinez. And he would just like wake up at 3 in the morning and take a dip in his pool with his pink underwear, eating fruity pebbles, telling his dad that he already knew everything. Ya sé. Ya sé. I can't tell you how many times me and my buddies have spent clowning on him for that moment, for that little move that he does when he lets half of his head come out of the pool, man. And I look at that picture and I'm like, this guy was a world champion? He is the Chavez Jr. is the reason Sergio Martinez is retiring. Yeah, old age, it takes its toll and all that. He's been fighting for a while. The knees take a toll. But it was directly from his fight with Chavez Jr. That's where those injuries came. Because of that knockdown, the last second knockdown. And that last second knockdown wouldn't have came if he wasn't like 20 pounds heavier than him, man. But Sergio Martinez stood there and he fought him. But he ended a great career, man. Thanks a lot, Junior. And I was rooting for him, like most Mexicans were. But it's a damn shame a great career was ended by Chavez Jr. Yeah, but I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about Chavez Jr.'s upcoming fight, which I learned about when I was watching PBC on Sunday afternoon on CBS, of course, which was the Bartholomew versus Antonio De Marco fight. But they interviewed Chavez Jr. saying that he's with Robert Garcia now and he's taking training seriously. We've heard it a million times, right? And honestly, I apologize if this video turns out to be pretty long because I think this might be a rant because Chavez Jr. is disappointed everyone that has backed him, man. Even Bob Arum was like, dude, I spent so many years building him up and now Heyman just he has one fight without Heyman and he gets knocked out. Bob Arum knew how to market him and he knew how to put matchmaking. He knew how to put the right opponent in front of Chavez Jr. until it was too late. You know, like a Maravilla Martinez or even a Brian Vera was too tough for Chavez Jr. Man. But I don't want to talk about Chavez's career. We know it's mediocre and he's only famous for his daddy. He better have hugged his dad or took him out to dinner, lunch, and breakfast, man, in that order. Because if it wasn't for him, who knows where he'd be right now, man. He complains about all that his dad wasn't there or he made him fight other kids. But if your dad was rough, man, like, I'm sorry about that. Like, we can't do anything about that. But would you have been making $1 million or $3 million to fight Maravilla? Would you even be getting that shot or been able to be a cherry picker if it wasn't for your daddy? Hell to the no, because he's an average fighter that had 20-pound weight advantage, sometimes like 25-pound weight advantage over his opponents, and he still couldn't get him out of there. He still couldn't get him out of his most impressive win, which his impressive win is against Andy Lee. But Andy Lee's also a guy who got knocked out by Brian Vera. Not taking away anything from Andy Lee, who's a very good fighter, and he's a world champion right now. So, you know, but if he was trying to do something and not just, ride his dad's coattails, maybe he would have stayed at middleweight, be fighting Gennady Golovkin right now. That's why he pulled out of that fight, man, because he would have got marked, man. Imagine Golovkin in there instead of Fanfora. I don't care what weight it is. I don't care if it's 180. Golovkin's gonna freaking murder Chavez, dog. Anyway, I don't care if it's heavyweight. Golovkin would have got him out of there. But he's getting another payday. July 18th, Chavez is headlining not a PBC show, but a Showtime. A Showtime card. Chavez Jr. is getting another Showtime card, and Fonfora doesn't even got a fight lined up. I know he's probably not without Heyman. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Chavez Jr. is getting another shot. Why? I don't think he's even that popular. That the StubHub, which usually gets packed, unless it's Guerrero Martinez. So there were like 500 people there, but which usually gets packed, especially if a Mexican fighting didn't even look that packed. Well, that's what they get for making that fight the same day as Matisse versus Ruslan Provodnikov, because I am missing that to watch freaking Chavez fight. I don't care who it is, unless maybe it's Gennady Golovkin, then I might. But I mean, instead of a Ruslan Matisse, I don't know, because it's still Chavez Jr. And I used to be a big fan of this guy, and yes, stemming from the fact that I am Mexican, and my family would support Chavez Jr. But man, he just has shown a lack of dedication. And I know I'm not the only one, because they were giving free tickets to the Fanfora fight, which, like, it's cool to lose. Like, that doesn't make you a bad fighter, but you quit. That's the sin of the Mexican fighter. You quit. But I don't understand why he's getting another shot. I mean, you put him on a card. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing this fool on a Sunday afternoon card on PBC, but he's getting another card on Showtime. That's been like the only one. The Chavez has been the only fighter that's fought on Showtime under Al Heyman, man. Unless you're counting Floyd Mayweather, since he's made the big TV deals. This is garbage, man. It's garbage. They were giving out tickets, and you're doing that again. It's not like his popularity is growing. It's getting lesser. His fan base is dwindling as we speak, man. He's fighting Marcos Reyes, so I'll be rooting for him. I had never heard of him, so gave a look on BoxRec. He doesn't have a bad record. He's 33-2, but I mean, he's never fought world top competition. And he's been fighting at middleweight for a few years now. But his last fight was he weighed 165, so he might be Chavez's size. It says right here that he's 6'1". Ooh. So it could get interesting, because it looks like this guy is his size, but he might be a small. I mean, they're the same size. 6'1". Chavez is about that size, so Chavez won't have a great height advantage, or maybe even a weight advantage. So this might get interested, but he just might not be of the level. He's obviously not a world class fighter like a Fonfora, who fought Adonis Stevenson and dropped him. I mean, he was a world class fighter at 175. I hope Chavez learns from that whipping, because as much as I hate on Chavez, I didn't enjoy watching him get beat up like that. I didn't like when he got dropped. He just looked at the referee with that look of despair, like, I'm Chavez's son. This is not supposed to happen to me. I'm Chavez's son. He looked at like if he wanted to cry, dude. So he just smiled. I wasn't happy to see that. Does he deserve it? Yes, but I wasn't happy to see it, and I don't want it to happen again. I know this will probably be a good fight, because they're about the same size and they're both Mexican, so they'll bring in the Robert Guerrero. Oh, I'm a warrior. They're gonna bring that attitude in, and let's just see how their chin holds up. Chavez has a decent chin, and Well, Marcos Reyes has never been knocked out, so I'm assuming he's got a decent chin as well. But Junior's coming off a loss, a knockout loss, and I, I think Reyes actually, knowing nothing about this guy, just looking at his record and his size and his weight, he might have a shot against Chavez. Like he might beat him. We gotta remember that. Yes, Fanfora was a bigger guy, but he absolutely dominated him. He had never faced a guy his size before, and that Fanfora was bigger. He was a career light heavyweight, but he was coming down at a catch weight, and he completely dominated. He's a world class fighter. So, but Chavez Jr. might be, or Marcos Reyes might be on the level of Chavez Jr. Like he might be just a D level fighter that got a chance at a world title and was winning championships because of his extreme height advantage. So I'll be rooting for Reyes because we got the same last name. Other than that, man, just upsets me, man, because he could have been a good fighter. He got size and he got the frame. If he had trained hard, it might just be a little bit too late for him to get back to the world class level. Like at 168, you're gonna favor him against. I don't even favor him against the lesser guys like Danny Jacob. No, I don't favor him against Danny Jacobs, but or like Bottle Jack or Anthony Durrell. I favor them against Chavez Jr. too, or Gilberto Ramirez. I mean, I've seen him fight once, and I wasn't too much of impressed, but he probably has a shot at beating Chavez Jr. Who at 168 do you favor him beating? I'm looking at the ring top 10 right now, and I don't see anyone that I would even favor him beating. And there's names that I don't even know, like Callum Smith, but I just don't think he has enough to beat any of them because he's an average fighter who doesn't. He's an average fighter who doesn't have the work ethic, you know, who doesn't want to put in the work and doesn't have the natural talent. I'm gonna make a video on Adrian Broner too, but Adrian Broner has talent. He's extremely talented. He also took advantage of his weight, you know, his weight advantage. But Adrian Broner is talented, so he could still get it with a little bit of training, and he's not as old as Chavez. I think Chavez is 28 right now. He's been fighting for a while, but I don't know if Robert Garcia could do anything to you if you're just not that good of a fighter. And hey, I said this was gonna be a rant and a long video, so it just upsets me that he's coming off a knockout loss. He's getting a Showtime headline, a main event, when there's a bunch of other guys. You know, you had Adrian Broner and Sean Porter today, or Saturday, on PBC on NBC. You have Keith Thurman on NBC. You have all these good fighters, all these good fights, and you're putting them for free on TV. But I'm gonna have to have like premium network to watch this guy who just got knocked out just because of his daddy's name. It's ridiculous, man. I wonder when these paydays are gonna stop, man. Check's gonna stop coming, Chavez. I'm not hating because I'm gonna be rooting for you. I want him to be good. I want him to be great. But I just don't see. I don't care who's in your trainer. Who's your trainer? Who's in your corner? Because I don't believe he wants it. And he doesn't have the natural talent either. Only thing that is good probably is his chin, but we saw that check last time, and we saw what happened when he got a little bit tested. So Chavez Sr.'s dad, he had a great chin, but he also had a massive heart. If not, he probably would have got knocked out against like Edwin Rosario. Or even like a Mudrick Taylor. He was being overwhelmed, but he got the heart. His son doesn't. All right. Think I dragged this long enough. Thanks everybody for watching. What do you think about Chavez Jr. getting another payday? Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.